In this week's episode, I try and find out whether OCs or other castes are being made the scapegoats in the government system. Some states across India are in the race to prove that welfare is greater than development. While some may disagree with that fact, these are also the states that are putting direct cash into the hands of people in the name of welfare schemes. Let's take the Dalita Bandhu scheme introduced by the Telangana government as an example. Under the scheme, the government of Telangana aims to transfer rupees 10 lakh per Dalit beneficiary family. To give you more details, this is a direct cash transfer scheme. While the intent of the scheme is noble in nature, and it aims to give freedom to these beneficiary families to familiarize and utilize the money based on the priorities or their needs. It is also important to note that this is not a loan that needs to be repaid. Hence, it makes cash directly available to a Dalit family as and when required. Now, the scheme may be very noble in nature for its introduction, but timing of the scheme is very important here. The Dalita Bandhu scheme is clearly a poll stunt as the Huzurabad by-election is due on October 30th. Interestingly, Huzurabad doesn't have too many Dalit voters. So, why is Dalit focused scheme introduced in a by-election or closer to a by-election? In fact, Huzurabad is a BC stronghold constituency. So the scheme is being piloted in that constituency, but it doesn't have too many Dalit voters. If Telangana Chief Minister KCR was serious about its implementation, then he could have chosen a Dalit dominated constituency, is what the opposition says. But here's the actual story of KCR's love for Dalits. Dalits and BCs both make up for nearly 50% of the population in Telangana. While BCs are now expected to be in favor of BJP's Etala Rajender, who was former minister in the TRS government, KCR is now targeting Dalit vote bank in the state, which is also Congress party's major vote bank. So the Dalita Bandhu scheme is not just a poll stunt for Huzurabad by-election, but it also has a long-term vision according to the TRS. He and the TRS are eyeing a bigger role in capturing the Dalit vote bank in the state in the upcoming 2023 assembly elections, of which Dalits nearly make up for 18% of the vote bank in Telangana. This means politically, it is going to also crush Congress's major vote bank because Dalits have been loyal to the Congress for a long time now. Following Dalita Bandhu scheme, many other communities within Telangana also have started demanding for a similar benefit for the community. For instance, MIM's Owaisi had demanded a Muslim Bandhu scheme for the Muslim community in Telangana. Similarly, as a consequence of the Huzurabad by-election, which is due on October 30th, even the BCs in the states have been asking for a similar scheme. All of this may look like it is a good welfare scheme, but on the other hand, it is not only going to cost the state exchequer hugely, but it is also going to increase the amount of welfare spent for the state government, which is going to be a huge burden given that the revenues also need to make up for the welfare being spent. Now, a similar kind of thing is being replicated by the government of Andhra Pradesh too. There is a huge focus on welfare while development is being neglected. On the other hand, there is no money for the government to spend, but the government is mortgaging based on the future finances and still taking loans to meet the welfare spends on these schemes. So, While politicians feel that welfare is primarily important to keep their vote bank intact and win or appease voters, on the other hand, this makes us wonder whether OCs or general castes are the ones who are being left out of the system just because they have been forward castes. Now, as maximum taxpayers belong to this bracket of people, which is the OCs, there is a growing feeling among OCs that though they pay their taxes, they never get any benefit, or in fact, have to be scapegoats for all the reservations that the politicians come up with. Now, let us consider the economically weaker section quota that the Modi government had proposed. While the intention of it is again very noble, giving importance to economically weaker sections irrespective of their caste, there is still no word on how this will be implemented to benefit those who are poor yet belong to OCs. So the question here is, while every lower caste segment has some sort of reservation benefit and some sort of welfare scheme that meets their needs, are OCs eventually getting left out of the system? Are they being made scapegoats of the government system and the reservations? Well, if you look at the way welfare schemes are rolled out right now, it is clear that there is no cap on welfare for states, neither is the center paying heed to this kind of increasing spend on welfare schemes. Therefore, does India require some sort of capping mechanism or some sort of percentage where welfare schemes need to be capped at? Isn't that an important way of keeping both development and welfare balanced? If that's not the case, then where do OCs stand in the political scenario currently? Are they not important to political parties as a vote bank? Thank you for watching this commentary. If you liked it, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you have any suggestions, you can leave them in the comment section.